talking about money and investment. So it's the perfect time to get into the Black Wall Street Report with Jatali B, former investment banker and the CEO and founder of Kids Who Bank, which is in 137 schools nationwide, teaching young people financial empowerment. What tips do you have today, Jatali?
If you're spending money and you're making money, you need to have the right team behind you, which is where I'm jumping right into the 4 essential team members. One of them will be a certified financial planner.
Oh,
So
okay.
this one's a sleeper. People don't really realize the importance of having a good financial planner, but think about it. You need to have a person who has the know-how of managing multi-million dollar portfolios, who can point you in the right direction when you are missing a trend, someone to be your accountability partner that you respect, and someone who knows when to hold them or fold them, or even legally bound to do so. It's not just someone giving you an opinion, but someone who legally has to give you the right advice.
Okay, cool. What's number two?
Number two, lenders. If you're an investor, do not use only your money to invest. I cannot tell you how many times, as I pick the brains of other investors and lenders, they always mention that to keep maximum on ROI, they have other lenders that they borrow money from. And they share the sentiments of not utilizing their whole capital to do things, to work on projects. Because you have 600,000 in the bank does not mean you should spend 400,000 of it to do a startup, to invest in a real estate property. So even for the layman, if you're a new investor and let's say you only have $1,000, there are loans and corporations and companies that can lend you 18 to 24 months, sometimes even 36 months of no interest loans to get you started on your business or on your brand. So just keep that in mind. It's out there. You just have to look for it. Number three, a kick-ass accountant and, well, can I say kick-ass?
Yes, of course. Come
And
on.
a tax specialist. A great tax specialist can mean the difference of you paying 33% in taxes versus 11% in
True.
taxes. And a good accountant can really be a person to really log everything that you're doing to ensure that if you ever get audited, you have no troubles, no problems.
Nice.
And number four on this list for today, will be a great attorney. Even if you think you cannot afford one, most cities have a small business services where they can connect you with pro bono lawyers and attorneys who need to maybe get their weight up that will do it for free for you, or just get you the legal help that you need for cheaper. So that's something to look into. And a lawyer is good for trademarks, copyrights, incorporating, becoming a nonprofit. They can streamline everything for you. I mean, honestly, even myself, I do a lot of these things on my own, but I'll be very honest with you. Now I'm just like, why didn't I just find a
Yep.
professional who had great prices before? And you don't want to make a mistake because some of these mistakes can cost you a year. So those are our top four.
Yeah. I mean, you can hire a good lawyer. You might have to get up that retainer, that 5 grand or whatever it may be. But at the end of the day, it's worth it. I believe in lawyers. I
100%.
believe in that.
100. And then beyond that, it's like you don't even sometimes have to have that retainer for some of them, because some of them, when you build relationship with them, or if you can give them, let's say you have a celebrity presence, you have 20,000 followers and they're trying to build up their clientele, you can always do the barter system. We as adults have forgotten the power of the barter system. So honestly, barter.
You're saying a lot of these things. You said, like the investor. How do people find investors? You say that quite nonchalantly, but that's the hardest thing is to find investment. I know that from the millionaires who I do know in my life.
So for me, one of the first things I will say, like depending what your startup is, Kiva, right? Kiva is an amazing organization that they don't even check your credit score. It's all word of mouth. They believe in what you're saying, and it's also people branding and group branding. So it's kind of a GoFundMe in the sense that people have to buy into your dream. But if you're able to pitch your business and your brand properly, then you can get up to $10,000 towards what you're doing to start up, and you don't even have to get your credit score checked. And only thing you need to do is get 12 to 20 people in your community to donate
So that's
$20.
community investment. But you mentioned like having 100 grand or 400 grand. I think you used the 600 grand in the bank. I mean, that's a different kind of investment.
I mean, when you get to those higher brands, it gets different. But like another person, for example, because you did mention that you felt like the demographics of the investors were, maybe didn't have as much capital to play with. For instance, one of my board members, I won't say his name, he has a company, his bank. If you have at least a 710 credit score, they'll be willing to give you $150,000 to $250,000 to invest in real estate and things of that nature.
Nice.
So, and that's without basically it's a secured loan, and you have 18 to 24 months to pay it back. So that's $150,000 to $250,000 just by the fact that you have a 710 credit score. And honestly, if you nowadays credit is queen. If cash is king, credit is queen. So that means your credit should be where it needs to be. And fix it if it's not at the 710. But if you can't even fix it to get to 710, then you have an organization like Hiva. And there are more organizations and companies and banks that are doing things of this nature that are out there. You just have to really Google it and really do your research. Look at the reviews.
Good stuff. Good stuff. The 4 people you need on your investment team: Jatali B, the Black Wall Street journalist. If they want more information or need to ask questions or just want to look you up, where can they go?
info@kidswhobank.com. Go to my website or my social media. Everything is Kids Who Bank. Keep it very simple.
Nice. Good job, Jatali. Thank you.